Hi, for those of you that don't know me, my name is Jackie. I've thought about recording this video on numerous occasions, but I was never brave enough to do it. So I don't know if I'm ever going to post this or not, but I thought I'd record it and then decide later. As you can tell, I just got done crying. This is my crying face. I had a panic attack like 10 minutes ago, but I have a reason for that. I suffer with something called cluster headaches, and the name is very deceiving. It's not a headache at all. It's not a migraine, and it's so much worse than that. I kind of hate that they're called cluster headaches because when I have to explain them to people, they just think I'm having a headache or like a migraine and that I'm exaggerating. So I kind of wish they were called something else, but they're called cluster headaches. They're also known as suicide headaches because a lot of people that deal with this condition for years and years and years with no treatment because there's no cure just end up committing suicide, which is very sad. But it's hard to deal with this on a daily basis. So, sorry, I'm trying not to cry. I understand where these people are coming from. Basically what happens is about once a year, around the same time of year. So for me, it happens to be fall, whether it's August, September, October, somewhere around there. The cluster headaches start to get triggered, and it's like a neurological thing. So basically what's happening is like my blood vessels in my brain, my head get really big, and they get so big that it's the most excruciating pain on the planet. Even doctors that write about this condition say that the pain is a 10 out of 10 scale, and it's the most painful condition known to man. It literally says that on the internet. So about once a year I get these, and they could last for as little as 15 minutes. Mine lasts longer. Mine usually lasts 2 hours, and it happens every single day. Sometimes it happens multiple times a day. There's people that get them 5 to 6 times a day. In that case, I don't even know how they survive that. I really don't. Mine is normally once a day, and it wakes me up in the morning. And that's pretty standard with cluster headaches, is you get them around the same time of year and you get them around the same time of day. And a lot of the time it happens when you are asleep. So like it wakes you up out of sleep, and that's very standard for cluster headaches. There's no cure, obviously, like I said, and there's nothing that really helps the pain at all. The strongest opiates on the planet don't work. Vicodin, Norco, it doesn't help. Excedrin, Tylenol, don't even think about it. Weed, I could be smoking, nothing. I've tried everything, honestly, that I can think of. I've tried all the medicines that the doctors recommend, and nothing works. Let me explain the kind of pain I feel before I go on. It's hard to explain because unless you've felt it, I can't really explain it, but the best way that I can explain it is it feels like, you know, when you get a brain freeze, you eat something really, really cold, and your brain hurts like for a couple of seconds, and it's like really excruciating, but it's only a couple seconds, so you just let it go. Well, imagine that pain, but like the intensity is times 10. And hold on, I have to blow my nose. God, I'm a mess. So the pain is like times 10 of a brain freeze right behind. It's always in one side of your head. So for me, it's my right side. So it's like behind my eye. So imagine going this way. The brain freeze is like right here, times 10. But that lasts for 2 hours. And then like while you're getting that brain freeze, there's like an ice pick being like shoved through your skull. But the pain is literally continuous for 2 hours. Like it doesn't go away. And it doesn't just end right here in my eye. Like that's the worst part. I just want to like scoop my eye out during that time, but it goes up into my temple, it goes into my jaw, it goes down to my neck. and then into my nose. Like one nostril always gets super stuffy during it, and my eye tears up, so I start crying out of one eye, and I can't breathe out of one nostril. Just talking about it is like really hard, because I just know that when I stop making this video and go to bed, I'm gonna wake up with this tomorrow. And I don't want to. Like, I don't understand when people just say they don't want to wake up because it's too painful. And I've dealt with a lot of pain in my life. I have, if you know me, you know I have a lot of problems. Like, oh, my neck hurts, my shoulder, my back, my knee. I have an autoimmune disorder, my kidneys. Like, I have so many problems already, and none of them come close to this. Like, I can deal with all the other pain that I have, just not this one. So in the past, I've had this since I was like 16, but the last couple of years, I did a lot of research, and I found that mushrooms and LSD, there's this component in them called psilocybin or psilocybin, however you say it, the thing that makes you hallucinate. And I read a bunch of studies that say if you take enough and you hallucinate, that actually helps with cluster headaches. And I didn't have any other options. I didn't want to do mushrooms. I was always really scared of like hallucinogens, and I just never was into that thing. So I really didn't want to do it, but about maybe 3 or 4 years ago I tried it, and that was mushrooms was a bad trip, like bad experience. But I woke up the next morning, my headaches were gone, and it was a miracle. And I always said mushrooms saved my life. So every year since then, I would feel the headaches coming on around this time of year, and I would do mushrooms, and then the next day it'd be gone, just like that. And even though I hated doing the mushrooms, it was worth it, because I didn't have my clusters anymore. They would just like die right away. So a couple weeks ago, I started getting the headaches again, but they started slowly. So I was like, oh, I don't need to do the mushrooms yet. Maybe they'll just subside. But then it got really, really, really bad. So I have mushrooms in capsules now, like pills, basically. So I did a capsule like I always do, and it didn't work. The next day I still had it. So I was like, oh, well, maybe I'm getting used to them, so I just need to up my dose. So I took another one. So I did it 4 days in a row, and it didn't work. And then I thought, okay, well, I need to do something stronger. So I got some LSD, because, you know, acid and mushrooms are basically have the same type of thing inside of them. And actually most of the research I've done say that LSD is even more helpful. And I was super scared, like I didn't want to do it, but had no choice, had to do anything. So I did it right here in this room. 15-hour trip. It was bad. I mean, like I said, I hate hallucinogens, so it was not a fun experience for me. It was a pretty awful 15 hours. I was mentally exhausted, but I thought, well, at least it's worth it. At least I will wake up tomorrow and I'll be fine. But I woke up and it was still there. So this is like the 3rd or 4th day after the LSD, and I feel like I'm out of options. It's like I can't really go to work, because when the pain happens, like I just want to like knock my head against a wall. You know, usually when you have a regular migraine, you kind of just want to lay there in the dark and like turn the lights off and just kind of like peacefully lay still, and that usually is helpful for migraines. I get migraines too, so I know. But when you get a cluster, your whole body shakes, like you can't lay still. So all I want to do is I want to just keep moving. I feel like I'm in a straitjacket, you know, and it's hard to lay still. Like I said, I can't see out of one eye. I can't really talk or communicate. And so this is actually the reason that I left LA when I moved there. I was there from 2013 to 2015. And I actually had to quit my job and move back here to San Francisco in 2015 because of the cluster headaches, because I didn't know what was going on. This was like before I discovered the mushrooms and everything, so it's like I can't really like go to work and have a normal life when this happens, but I also can't just tell my whatever job I have, hey, I need maybe 2 weeks off, maybe 3 months off. Like, I don't know who's gonna even deal with that. And on top of that, it's like hard to explain what this condition is. As you can see, this video's 11 minutes long now, and like I'm still trying to explain like what goes on with me. So it's just like all around just kind of sucks. I don't know, there's just isn't enough research, I guess, on it. It's not like super common. I do know a few people that have it, or that say they have it, but it's not like a super common thing. It occurs mostly in males in their 30s or 40s, so it's just like there's not a lot of people I could talk about this with. There's a bunch of like forums online for headache people. They're called cluster heads, and people are in there just, you know, trying to find different ways to relieve pain, but so far I haven't found anything successful, and the only thing that's ever worked are the mushrooms and the LSD, and now that's not working either. So I feel bad. I'm just canceling a lot of plans with people. I have a lot of things that I want to do, and I can't do them. I don't know how long I'm gonna have this. I don't know if it's just gonna be another week, if it's gonna be another month, if it's gonna last 6 months. Like there's just no way to know, and it's hard because I don't even want to go to sleep because I know that I have to wake up in pain, and then all day I'm anxious about it. It's hard not to be anxious when you know that like it's gonna hit you at any moment. So I just got home from work. I somehow made it through work because I couldn't call out today, and I just sat there like miserable. I just got home and I just broke down, and I just thought, you know what, let me record this now because I might not have the courage to later. It just puts me in such a vulnerable position to sit here and say all this and cry, because usually when I post videos on YouTube or Instagram, I'm happy, or I'm in a music video and I'm doing what I love, but there's a lot deep down inside that's like not happy. I'm generally a very happy person, by the way. Like, I'm always positive. I'm always a light. I feel like I always make my friends feel better. I'm always like, everything's gonna be fine. And I genuinely feel that way until this happens. And then it's really hard for me to be positive. And then all of a sudden, like, I'm a Debbie Downer, and it just sucks. I guess my main purpose in recording this, I don't know if it's to make me feel better and just vent, or if I can maybe help another person that suffers with cluster headaches who just needed to hear this, maybe, like, for a friend. Like, if you want to contact me, I'm here. And then my third reason for posting is possibly if there's any way that like some sort of doctor or clinic or researcher sees this, maybe knows more information about cluster headaches. I don't know, maybe something useful will come of this. And people like to recommend to me, oh, have some herbal tea, have some chamomile and rub some peppermint oil on your temples and lay down, but like, that's not what this is. I wish that's what that was, but it's not. So maybe somebody can find something else that's helpful. Another thing that I do, I have an oxygen tank, so sometimes when the attacks hit, I have to breathe a really high dose of oxygen for about 10 minutes. And that can subside the symptoms a little bit, but it's not a solution. Like, it doesn't fully help, and I can't just walk around everywhere with an oxygen tank, like get a refill every 3 days. So that's not a real solution. If I'm brave enough, I might record myself when I have one of these attacks in the morning, but I don't even know if I'm going to remember to or want to at the time, because I'm in so much pain that just even trying to take my phone out and press record, it sounds like too much. But maybe I'll do it just so you guys can get a glimpse of what it's actually like. But anyways, that's all.